Hello, this is The Slayer, and you're watching TVLine.com.
Welcome back to another edition of Reality Check, your weekly deep dive into all things unscripted television. I'm Michael Slezak. I'm here with American Idol Season 6 standout Melinda Doolittle, who is going to be in New York this week, so check it out. And Melinda, hopefully the cold that is plaguing you today will be long gone by the time you are at 54 below.
Listen, I've never been more excited to get a cold because I was like, yes, at least it's this week. So the next week I am golden.
We've got to discuss the week in Idol, top 12 week, and we're going to touch on The Voice second week of blind auditions. Not either show's finest 3-hour chunks.
It was just a long 6 hours this week. I felt like maybe the producers got together from The Voice and Idol and they were like, you know what, this week, let's just dial it in. Let's not care, and then we'll just really ramp up for next week.
The big question about Idol, is season 13 in trouble? That seems to be the general consensus of the blogosphere. I'm not willing to say that this season is getting expelled, but they're in detention a little and maybe smoking out behind the dumpster, and they've got to get it together. A lot of commenters on TVLine are saying, like, ready to give up on this season. Are you at that point?
I'm not at that point, mainly because of Harry Connick Jr. I feel like he's doing a great job with giving very pointed critiques and really wanting to help these singers. And I feel like if they are mentored well, every single one of them is uber talented. Like, they can sing.
Yeah.
They're just picking wrong songs. They're putting them in the wrong keys.
I was hired as a judge. I have a very short amount of time to be very specific with information that I think will help you grow.
At this point, I'm so desperate for these kids to have a legit mentor that I would be willing to swap Randy and Harry's places. And this is in no way endorsing that I would want Randy on the panel and speaking after every single performance, but if it meant we could get Harry in as the mentor. And I loved on Results Night when basically Randy and Ryan kind of ganged up on Harry and said,
Do you think they were a little hard on the contestants, especially the tall one over there, Junior?
Junior.
Their thought was, if the judges don't tell America that 3 or 4 of these kids are superstars, that America will give up on the show.
I think Harry was having a little indigestion. Him and Keith were going at it. Harry, what was happening, brother? What was happening?
But frankly, America is smart.
Yes.
They know what they're seeing. You can't bring a pig out onto the racetrack and tell me it's a horse race. I'll probably still watch the pigs run around the track.
I'm not going to belabor the fact that you're great. You're grown-ups.
He needs to see them do their best, and he is not going to tell them they're superstars until they're performing like it. And I think it's refreshing, and like you said, it's kind of the one thing that's given me hope that this season can still pull it together.
I'm loving the fact that Keith and J-Lo are being very honest also.
Absolutely.
Nobody's just blowing smoke.
Nobody.
Which I love this season. But I want the contestants to really listen, and I wish with you that Harry just had more time.
I was not hired as a mentor. I'm envious of Randy.
When he said, I would be here till 5 a.m. in the hotel if I was the mentor, that was throwing some serious shade at Randy. It was shady.
That shade right down.
If I were a mentor, guys, I would be at the hotel till 5 o'clock in the morning working with you.
I don't feel like anyone is challenging them saying, Alex, you're really going to do a reggae style rendition of I Don't Want to Be?
Oh, gosh. Look at somebody like Majesty Rose, who is amazing at what she does, but nobody told her, like, don't go for that long note and just hold it out real high. To me, it wouldn't have even made sense if she nailed it.
Right.
But then she didn't.
If Uncle PB is watching this, you need to bring in Melinda next week, Carrie Underwood the following week, Kelly Clarkson, Clay Aiken, Chris Allen, Haley Reinhart. Bring in people who will take a week. You'll pay them for that week, but they'll take a week to work with these kids. Randy can still be there, like he can like to be taking a nap in the corner, which is probably what he's doing already.
I think I would have sat with Malaya and said, why did we pick this key? while you can hit that note square in the center, which is fabulous, when you get on stage in front of millions of people, sometimes it gets tight. Like that just happens. So let's make sure that when we're picking a key, we're thinking about the actual performance of it, like the live performance. That's what I wish I would have had that time and been like, when you're at this piano, your pitch is all over the place. So maybe just lose the piano. If it's throwing you off, get up and sing. Like use your breath support, whatever we need.
I would have loved to mentor Alex this week. I would have loved to say, like, are you a prison guard son? If you're not a prison guard son, why are you starting a song all about being yourself by saying,
I don't need to be anything other than a prison guard son?
It's not acceptable for someone creative and interesting like Alex to just, yeah, I'll do that Gavin DeGraw song that's been done to death. Let's talk about who we loved this week. If you had to pick an absolute favorite, and I'm going to preface this by saying I wouldn't have given anyone a grade above a B+ this week.
I would say that my favorite contestant this week would have to go to Caleb, just because he's the most consistent contestant we have so far. Granted, it kind of sounds like he's singing the same song every week, but he's singing a great song every week. I love his energy. I love that his vocals are spot on.
Yeah.
I love his attitude on stage. I love him, and I think he's great for the show.
If I'm the stern East German judge on the figure skating panel, I've got to give him the technical merit marks. Maybe I'm not giving him the artistic impression marks, but he's landing his jumps. I did not love the collapse on the floor. I thought it was contestant-y and cheesy. It did not feel like an authentic rock star thing to do. It felt like I'm a contestant, this could be cute, and I don't want to see that. I cannot fault you for picking him as your favorite. My favorite this week, I know you're going to fault me for, was Jessica. I have now played the performance back 3 times. I understand that it was not a vocally spotless performance, but you know, as far as like hitting her notes and being committed and making me feel something, I still thought she was my favorite out of all 12 contestants. To me, it sounded different and fresh, and I liked it, and I could not understand why she got tougher feedback than any contestant on that stage this week.
You were so off that I think people can honestly hear that. And I'm not sure what's going on. I just felt like you weren't really present.
My take on it was that she looked bored to me. She looked like she wasn't into it. She looked like she was boring herself, which to me, at that point, then I'm like, well, why shouldn't I be bored too? Like until the very last maybe 2 or 3 notes, then I saw like something in her eyes and I heard like a cry in her voice and I thought, oh, there we are. We've connected with the song, but it's over now, so it's not enough time.
There will be no white flag above my door.
I don't think she was as sharp as what Harry was saying, not the entire song, but she did land sharp quite often.
Second place this week, I would probably give to Majesty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that girl did a great job at the beginning.
I will try to fix you.
The whole song was amazing until that one note.
Yeah.
Don't always have to go for the big thing. Sometimes the small thing, where you had us was great, and then you tried to do something and it didn't quite work out.
I love her. I even loved her when they were doing Philip's song, Home.
Baby, stringing us along.
Let's be honest, if the winning anthem this year is as bad as it is almost every year, they might as well just recycle Home and make it her single. It can't be worse than like, you know, do I make you proud to be inside your heaven? It just can't. Who would be your third favorite for the week?
I think I'm going to give it to Gina. I loved how comfortable she was. I would have rather her move around more, like I was with Harry on that. You know, it's a young song. Do something with it.
I was waiting for you to bust out. You're 17. You should be climbing all over the ceiling with that song.
But vocally, I thought it sounded great.
Suddenly I see it. Why did it mean so much to me?
The problem is she picked a song with not much vocal range.
Right.
So with that, she sounded great on the 5 notes she sang. I'll say that.
I think she was also hurt by the Facebook voting reveal, which is the dumbest thing ever. It's so stupid.
Gina, then Alex, and Emily. That's where we stand right now with the first few performers, but this could all change.
As a contestant, that would probably send me under. Like, you don't want to know that. You don't want to know that at all as a contestant. It's kind of cool as a watcher, like, to kind of see where people are falling. However, if you do it right after the last person has sung, then it doesn't really compute everything that's happening.
Majesty Rose got off the stage 15 seconds ago, and she is currently in last place of the second half of contestants. It is nonsense. It's nonsense.
And Majesty, who just went, so she'll probably get a few more as time goes by.
So we can cut the Facebook stuff, we can cut anytime Randy speaks, and we can now use all of that time for contestants to explain their artistic choices.
It's up-tempo. This is great. This is your heritage.
I would have loved this week for some explanation of my 2 probably lowest graded performances, which were Emily and CJ.
Emily's got a great voice. She's got a great voice. When she sang Stars, it's beautiful. I'm like, your choices are making no sense to me right now. Like, why did we choose that song? First of all, it actually doesn't have a melody. Like, it just doesn't. It's a song for dancing. That's what it's for.
Let's get loud. Let's get loud.
It is.
And unless you're going to do everything J-Lo does, I'm good.
What Emily did just felt anemic in comparison. How did she not know that it was anemic? How?
Because nobody told her. Somebody's got to say something now. She's young. Say something, Randy.
Yeah.
Listen, you know I love you, and I stand up for you, Randy, but I need you to say something next time, or I can't keep standing up for you.
On the flip side, CJ, I just can't ever remember what he did.
I don't know what song it was.
Keep on waiting on the world to change.
It was the John Mayer song, Waiting on the World to Change, which I don't think he understands the lyrics of, and I love that Harry was like,
I don't know if I agree with Jen. It's because you're actually waiting for the world to change. You're not changing the world, you're waiting for it to change.
CJ is just a conundrum. I loved him at first. I really did. But on the live shows, I haven't heard one week where I've been like, yes, this is why I loved you. But he's never in the bottom 3.
We've seen now 2 straight weeks where the bottom 3 was completely female. And I think it's easy to be like, oh, here we go again. Like, lady, 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 lady. But at the end of the day, the 2 women who've gone home, Kristen and Emily, you couldn't really justify them staying based on their performance the week they went home. You couldn't. So I'm not willing to board that bus quite yet. Check with me in 2 weeks when still no men have been in the bottom 3, and I'll jump on the bandwagon. So Melinda, this week on The Voice, I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about. It was sort of a snoozy week. The Monday night episode I thought was kind of a hot mess. Did anyone sort of bring it to life for you?
Sandra. That girl is a beast.
3 words, Sandra.
Exactly.
I don't think I have anything else to say. There was another contestant that you really dug who I think deserves a shout out because I think he's way under the radar, and maybe shouldn't be.
Stevie Joe. I loved him. I love that he did an Usher song. I love how he did it. His falsetto is so on point. He may just come up through the ranks and just kind of surprise us all.
He did not miss a single note, and that's not an easy song because there's a lot of this and that and not a lot of melody to cling on to. So for him to hit it clean on the nose all the way through is pretty impressive. He's got to not dress like he's going out to the mall, you know.
Listen, you know these things happen at the beginning. There are stylists. He's going to be fine.
I can dress like I'm going to the mall because I'm on the internet, but you're on television, so you've got to do better.